View with Nerd Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. I'm DarfMike coming to you live from the Aperture Science Research Lab, and this nice robot lady told me to wait here while someone comes to get me. It's been 3 days, but I'm still hopeful, so while we wait, let's get into the news. Splitgate, the free-to-play FPS game that asked what if Halo and Portal had a baby. Speaking of portals, I think I've seen a few of those around here, has seen a massive explosion in popularity, sending it from just hundreds of active players to many thousands. And you might be asking what's triggered this. The game is not new, it's been out since 2019. Well, a beta for crossplay between consoles and PCs has led to many players checking out the game and blowing it way the heck up. And it's so huge, the growth that they've experienced, that the devs are struggling to keep up. They've actually had to take the servers down multiple times as they struggle to cope with the volume of play. But this is great. This kind of growth pattern where a game exists, gets rediscovered, and blown the heck up is so encouraging. So hop in, check out Splitgate, and have a lot of fun with this wonderful game. New World, the new MMO from Amazon Game Studios, had its closed beta over the past month, and it has been a rousing success. Actually, very encouraging player numbers, peaking at over 200,000 concurrent players and sitting somewhere around 5th or 6th on the SteamDB's most played charts. All of that is very encouraging news, and it points to something that we may not have seen before. An actual successful game coming out of Amazon Game Studios, a studio that's been pumping bazillions of dollars into development, but has yet to have a game to show for it. So this is good. New World is an MMO set in a crazy new fantasy world that you're drawn to by fate. You know, the usual MMO mumbo-jumbo plot. But it does look polished, it does look like fun, and hopefully they'll be able to iron out any bugs they've encountered in the beta in time for their actual launch at the end of August, in just about a month's time. So please, Amazon, my one plea to you, between now and the actual release, don't screw this up. Just release a game. Let it out into the world. Don't kill it after release. Just let it go. Valve unveiled the Steam Deck last week, their new handheld console that promises to allow players to play any game in their Steam library in the palm of their hands. That's a pretty incredible claim. More so when you hear that Valve claims that any game's going to be able to run at 720p resolution and at least 30 FPS, if not more, at the cost of more battery life. Now that's bold when you consider some of the games they're talking about. Hardware cloggers like The Witcher 3, Microsoft Flight Sim. These are difficult games to run, and they're claiming that they'll be able to do it with this tiny machine. They're confident in a new chipset from AMD and new RAM memory that'll be able to handle the speeds of these games. I'm just excited to see more competition in the handheld gaming space, a space that Nintendo's had a virtual monopoly on, excluding cell phones, since the death of the PSP. It'll be good to see them pushed just a little bit. And hey, if Valve's claims about the Steam Deck are true, well, that's gonna be pretty dang sweet. We'll have to find out when the consoles become available in Q2 of 2022. EA unveiled a new game mode launching with Battlefield 2042 this year, and it's called Battlefield Portals, and it looks awesome. Think the Forge from Halo games brought over to Battlefield. You'll be able to make custom game modes, alter terrains, units, available weapons and vehicles, all to create your own little mini games. The trailer showed games where you had modern soldiers pitted against World War II armies, where you had a giant tank versus an army of tiny little drones. All in all, it looks like a zany good time. Anytime you give players these kind of tools, it usually leads to some crazy ideas, some wild content, and maybe new emergent gameplay. You'll have to check it out when the game launches October 22nd of this year. Red Dead Online's latest update has introduced an odd glitch to the game and has caused some, shall we say, horsing around. You see, now when players disconnect from the game, their horse doesn't necessarily despawn with them, and they've got some odd behavior. There's horses just galloping across the landscape, colliding with anything in their path. There's horses that just stand there, watching, always watching. And then there's just the dead horses that are spawning in strange places and littering the landscape. All in all, it's caused some pretty zany situations. But remember, folks, if a ghost horse gallops up to you and asks for a ride, you say nay. That's it for this week on Field of View with Nerd Street Gamers, your weekly dose of gaming news. Say, what's that blue circle on the ground? And what's that orange circle? Oh no,